Good evening and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. We got some difficult days ahead. What's going on in Europe now has been going on for a very long time here. Like the British people over there, they didn't they've just been overwhelmed by the deluge of immigrants that are immigrating to their country. If you look at the talk of the town, what's going on in all the European countries are starting to say, hey, wait a minute, they're getting overran by immigrants. The immigrants have been overrunning over here too. Well, the people didn't say anything because most of the people over here are immigrants themselves. Don't they call America a country for immigrants? But what we've been saying for a long time, the black people, the Negro, the colored, the African American, they're not immigrants. They're the indigenous people of America. The training, the brainwashing has been so high strung, the Negro will cuss you out if you tell him that his grandmama was an Indian. Not all of them. Oh, not all of them. But the majority, over 50%, will. What's going on in Europe? And I'm going to try to find the video and share it to the chat while Lisa's in the middle of what she's saying, because she's about to show you what's going on over there has been doubly going on here. And we, or though people that call themselves African American, Black, Negro, colored, have been pushing the envelope the whole time. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. This is going to be a good one. Y'all pay attention because you'll be able to see what has happened to us. How you doing tonight, Lise?
Hey, Caillou, can you hear me?
Your mic is you muted. I can't hear you.
I don't understand why you can't hear me. Audio.
So what you're going to be seeing when she just got to go ahead and click in. Got a little technical difficulty going on right now, but she'll get it together. What's going on over in Europe is, and I'm sure many of you guys have been, keeping an eye on it. They're letting a lot of Africans, I mean, even the Africans are up in the Ukraine now. I don't know how that happened. But all the immigrants are being flooded into Europe, just like they've been flooded over here. Well, now the Europeans, all the countries that you know of as Europe, they're tripping now. They want to know what was in the vax. It hasn't hit over here yet because what do you call that when you're shunned from getting news, when information isn't censored? We're censored damn near heavily as China over here. And you see how the big corporations censor damn near everything. You can't say certain things. If you say certain things, you'll get flagged. If you say certain things, you'll get blocked. What kind of shit is that? And this is what I mean about the indigenous people. Dude, your people the ones who, you talk about fight and died like you always do. Your people are the ones who set this shit up so it wouldn't be like this. But since you have become another person, another nation of people, that's gone. So check out what's going on. Did you get in, Lise? Did you get it fixed?
Can you hear me?
Still can't hear you. Oh, you know what? You know what, man? You know what? That's what's up. I'm sorry. You there, Lise?
Yes.
I'm sorry. That was my fault. My
Okay.
fault.
Oh,
So
at least,
listen, I hope everybody was hearing me. They probably wasn't. But what I was saying, just in case you didn't hear me because my volume was down. Uh, I sent Lisa an article that's going on another platform about going over there in Europe. The people over there are starting to be really pissed off. I mean, they probably were pissed off way before now, but we just wasn't privy to the news. If you guys have been paying attention, what's going over there in Europe is immigration big time, probably worse so than here. All the people are coming in from Africa and the Middle East. And, I don't know if it's, like this because I'm not there, but I can say that this about here being overran by immigrants who wouldn't dare do at home what they do over here. I'll say that again, and I know a lot of you are immigrants, and this goes for you. A lot of immigrants, they come over here and do things they wouldn't dare thinking about doing at home. Remember the African woman that tried to chain herself to the Statue of Liberty? She wouldn't do that shit in the Congo, where she was from, but she'll come over here and try to show your ass up, and you will take her a basket full of food. That's how the African American gets down. Anybody who refutes this, you back up your position. Back up your position. Because what happens with a Negro, he's always yapping, but he never knows what he's talking about. He can't even explain it. He'll be talking about something that he can't even explain. And here's this. It's on BitChute, and if you go over to BitChute and you type in "to expunge British identity," we'll see everyone awaken to a violent and soulless multicultural hell. That's on BitChute. You can go find out. Check it out. Some of the same similarities that's going on over there are going on over here. You got immigrants coming over doing things here that their country wouldn't allow them to do. But guess what? Anybody can do anything over here because the Negro never says nothing. He and she is always trying to be on the other side. So to give you a little view of how this is going on, I'm going to let Lisa explain to you what's happening over there. Then maybe you'll get a good picture of what's going on. I'm sorry about that, Lisa.
No, you shared this with me. I don't know, for me, I believe like not everything I see, but most I don't believe a lot of stuff. But they put this thing together where it's kind of looking like things are going crazy in Europe with the immigrants. Like I said, use your discretion as far as what you believe and don't believe, as we all should. But I think they're kind of really focusing on Norway. But anyway, I'm going to play it.
Non-Western migrants had already been flooding into Europe for decades. Leaders refused to stop it.
We are afraid. We are in danger every day, every minute. They come inside, the police. They want to kill each other. You have to do something. Someone has to protect us. We are in a house. We are the victims. We are not them. We have to live life before. We have to live our life. They took it for us. We're nothing more. They are. They have to take them from here. It's a city. No place for people like them.
ولكنهم فقدوا إخصابهم ويبحثون عن إخصاب عندنا ننجب منهم لأننا سوف نفتح بلادهم. خذوا اللاجئين سنطلبهم منكم قريبا.
I want money because I want to smoking and telling my mother in the Syria.
So, und wir vermehren uns immer mehr. Ihr Deutschen kriegt ja keine Kinder. Ihr kriegt höchstens, wenn es hochkommt, 2 Kinder. Wir machen 7, 8, Alhamdulillah. Okay, Kollege? Und dann nehmen wir uns auch nochmal 4 Frauen, dann haben wir 22 Kinder. So macht Allah Azza wa Jal, der allmächtige Gott, macht es so, dass wir euch erobern, nicht mit Krieg hier in Deutschland, sondern mit Geburtenraten, erstens. Und zweitens, wir heiraten eure Töchter. Ja? Und deine Tochter wird Kopftuch tragen. Und deine Tochter wird...
The high Muslim birth rate is changing the political landscape. Imran is looking forward to replacing Belgian law with Sharia law, including amputation for theft, stoning for adultery, and death to homosexuals.
If they want to push us back or something like that, I don't know, maybe they can start to marry 4 wives and have a lot of children. Start with that, maybe they will have a chance, but I don't think so.
Something else that Muslim immigration appears to have brought to Norway is what some here call a rape epidemic. Recent police statistics show that in the capital of Oslo, 100% of assault rapes between strangers were committed by immigrant non-Western males, and 9 out of 10 of their victims were native Norwegian women.
So, with that being, I mean, I think that is definitely way majorly sensationalized. I will say that. What do you think?
Most definitely way over sensationalized. But if you look at London has a Muslim mayor. If you look over here, Negroes just bought in Kamala Harris. They was all on Barack Obama's nuts, you know, and a whole lot of immigrants over here, and the Negro is normally with it. Matter of fact, they clamor for it. So, yeah, that was over sensationalized. I agree, but is it really over sensationalized as to what we see over here? And please go into your story.
Cars delivered straight to your driveway.
Sorry. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Can you do that?
What you say?
Your story.
Oh, my story?
And check this out, audience. Check this out. See if what she says is not what you just saw on the screen. What this cat is trying to do.
What do you mean? What story am I supposed to be talking about?
About the African Angola to...
Oh, okay. I don't know if I'm ready to do that because there's also a debate. There was a big thing that happened on Dr. Phil too, where they had a debate on his show, and I was going to try to show that real quick, where they were talking about immigration and people got hot. Let me see if I can get it.
We're seeing the chaos that is happening, and it is driven by criminals.
Hold on.
Who are taking advantage to bring in
Oh, shit. Okay, where am I? Can I show it? Can I? Damn. Okay, hold on. All right, but yeah, so on Dr. Phil, evidently they had this situation where they were having a debate on, immigration, and it got evidently kind of fiery because, woman I think her son had been murdered or something. I don't know. It was a lot of emotion going on. So, but this is like they're actually talking about other countries, South American country, South America, not just Mexico. You know what I mean? It's getting to be a problem with various whatever people coming back to different parts of the Americas, where they're actual Americans at least, or partially so. But you know how they do. That's what we do. Is we let other people. That's what happens. Okay, see if I can get that picture for you. Yeah, got it. Okay, cool. So let me go ahead and share that. Is it on there? Let me see. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. All right, so let me go back to Dr. Phil. No, to okay. Let me get this bigger, or at least
individuals with serious criminal records into the United States, or those that have committed crimes in the past. So you're painting refugees with a broad stroke, saying that they're all. Just the stats say that refugees actually commit 50% less crime than U.S.-born citizens, and we have to understand that this land that we're on right now is indigenous land. Nobody has ever. Why do white people say they committed 100 million genocide? 100 million natives died. This land was inhabited for thousands of years. This is Native Americans, Mayans, and Chicas for thousands of years. White people left England. Why didn't white people stay in England? And then on top of that, so the U.S. war on drugs caused the land was who's taking care of white people? White people consume methamphetamine. So white people are taking those drugs. So they're demanding those drugs. The war on drugs. Nobody is hearing anybody if you're both talking at once. Yes. Then I'll let you say.
You said they commit 50% less crime. You know what I shoot for? 0% crime. They shouldn't be here. If this guy, no, I don't want to go into anything else. I'm telling you right now, my son would still be alive if this guy wasn't in the country.
How many of us would still be alive if they weren't in the country? But we don't want to talk about that. Let's shut up.
Looked like her child was melanated though. I don't know. I mean, it's just, but see, there you go again. It's always it's never like that. It's always us trying to be problematic with each other. That's another whole thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You see, in those type of conversations, you're never in the conversation. Right. It's always somebody else. It's never where you can put your input in. They're always saying whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything against what you're saying. I'm saying, y'all, aren't we looking at this?
Right.
Aren't we paying attention to what's happening in other places? Aren't we paying attention what's happening here? Most of us aren't.
Nope.
Let's be honest. Most of us aren't. Most of us don't care.
Mm-mm.
We don't even believe it's happening. When you have southern cities that are hiring immigrants to do their lawns and all the city stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your grandmama and granddaddy at in there? Your grandmama's grandsons and granddaughters in that picture being wiped out, being put in jail, and we just act like, well, it's gonna be all right.
That's what they got to do.
Jesus gonna come. He come. That's where we at.
Your turn's coming. It's okay. Well, you know what? It's like yeah, there you go. It's just like the situation with like I'm dealing with on the right now today. Oh, so we can so what if he wants to say that your people are from Africa? Oh, you can have we'll allow you to do a presentation too. I said, absolutely not. This is not a question of he tells his story, I tell mine. There's a truth and there's a lie. His story is destroying my people. Genocide was committed by erasing our identity, by changing our identity. That's how we were destroyed. That's how we were eliminated. And he is coming back and trying to hurl us over to Africa and erase and commit genocide again.
Bertha Huff says we have more than one America, North America, South America. Wonder what the connection is. Well, Bertha Huff, sounds like you went to school when the same time I did. And both of the Americas are connected. There's no separation between the two. But when you don't look at a map yourself and somebody is telling you what is, and you believe what they say, which is what most Negroes do. They don't even look at it for themselves. It's one continent. It stretches from Alaska, Canada, North America, Central America,
Central America,
Caribbean. It's all one continent. Brazil, Chile, all that's America. Guatemala, Honduras, those are the America. They put lines in the sand, and you don't follow the land, you follow the line. I'm not talking about you, Miss Huff. I'm talking about what you call the African American. They don't figure out things for themselves. They're told what to do. And there's nobody who follows directions like the African Americans.
Today, when I was called by the library director in North Carolina, he mentioned, I explained to him, I said, that we are not Native Americans. We are American Indians. And I said that there's a difference. And I said the Native Americans were discovered after the Louisiana Purchase. I said, and also we were Negroid in appearance. I explained to him about William Strachey and how he described us as having big lips and various shades of brown skin and broad noses, broad at the ends, etc. A gross, thick black hair. I said multiple books describe us as being copper-colored, chestnut brown, various shades of brown. There's so many books. There's more than one book that describes our lips being big. And I said, the thing about it is that doesn't describe any other people. It definitely doesn't describe Native Americans as you know them today. And I said, you just need to look to Hawaii. Do you know about the Queen of Hawaii? And he was like, no. I said, the Queen of Hawaii was the queen right up until the turn of the century. And I said, she looked just like your typical Negroid person. Kinky hair, dark skin, same features. I said, she would be described as Negroid in appearance. And he was like, so the guy goes, well, what about, so you're saying that the people look like that the people look like that in America? I said, yeah. He said, well, what about the Mayans? I said, have you been to Mexico? I said, if you've gone to Mexico, then you know they actually mark that as a historical thing in time when the mestizos began. They have statues tributing the first mestizo child. Mixture. They are highly mixed with their language, their language sake. The right. Spaniards. They did not look like that before they became highly mestizoed. They know that. They know that. I said, and this is the thing. People, they want to erase you. They do it everywhere. I said, okay, what about look at New Zealand and the Moray. Look at Australia. Everybody they attempt to erase you, lighten you up, make you disappear. Interestingly enough, we were a very advanced civilization, and it didn't occur in North America that way. We were living differently. We had laws and courts and all kinds of cities and towns, and it wasn't as we're taught. Nothing is really as they teach it. As they teach it is false. It's highly, this is what he says. He said, it's highly accepted that the African Americans are here in America are from Africa. I said, yes, highly accepted. And that's what I'm fighting. Okay. That's why I have to fight you on this, because it is highly accepted, a highly accepted lie. I was never taught about 1619 in school. That is a new manufactured history. They never had a starting point. They never had an arrival date for the Africans that they made up that came. So they had to designate an arrival date. That's the project. That's the 1619 project, is to designate an arrival date so that you can eliminate and annihilate the indigenous people, send them straight and packing as immigrants to Africa. You need a story. They picked that one. It's weak. It doesn't actually work. But if you go on the internet, it's been scrubbed of the truth. If you Google anything 1619, it's going to come up Africans all over the place. It may come up Negroes even, maybe eventually. But Negroes is not what even he wrote. He wrote Negras, which really tells a lot. Tells you that they were Spaniards. They were daggone Spaniard. It was a Spaniard ship. They were with the Spaniards. That they were Christianized by the Spaniards. They were Catholics. The women had Spanish names. These people didn't come from no Congo, no Africa, no Angola. With all that happening, baptized and everything, Christianized, and they had jobs to go to. They were not slaves. They were indentured servants. And I said, everything, all of that is revealed with the truth, with the Negras and the names of the people. Those names are not Angola names. No, they didn't give them those names. And they would not give them those Christian names, especially when they were, vibing as Catholics and everything. No, that wouldn't happen. So that's the thing. So, he's the director of the library. And he's arguing with me, well, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. He says, you can have equal time. You're free to go ahead and do a presentation just like this gentleman. This gentleman is doing a presentation about my Accomack people, a family that is an Accomack family, and stating it's his family. It's his family, though. And he's stating that they are from Angola. I'm just saying that I have an Accomack that already is enrolled active councilman that lives in Canada and has certain rights and benefits around him being an Accomack Indian that is being disparaged and at risk and jeopardized by the fact that this Negro is putting on this presentation talking about Angola to Eastern Shore to North Carolina and presenting his Jacob's families as being from out of Africa. My Accomack person that is of the Jacob's line, he said, oh yeah, he's out of Africa, in the Eastern Shore, actively in court records in the 1650s from Africa? Really? My Jacob's family's from Africa? He said, that's absurd. Thank you for fighting. Thank you for fighting for me. Thank you for fighting for me.
Lisa, we have a caller, Black Wolf, on the line. What's going on, Black Wolf?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Oh, everything's cool.
Yeah, I've been following you for a couple of years. I never had the opportunity to come up on your platform to speak with you. I just got into like this indigenous aboriginal information for the last 5 years, I think, 2016 maybe. So I came into the information, and before then, I was looking at the Moors thing, the Tariq Nasheed things where he talked about the Moorish empires, and all of this stuff right here. And I'm beginning to see that a lot of this Moorish stuff, this Hebrew stuff, this Muslim stuff is a lot of fugazi stuff. Because what I'm looking at is that if your just like I'm from Mississippi, born and raised. my grandmother told me a long time ago when she passed, when she made her transition, that her her mother was a full-blooded Indian. She never specified what tribe or whatever she was from, but she said that her mother was a full-blooded Indian. Now, my grandmother had a picture of her mother and her father on the wall, and both of them was Negroes. My grandmother, my grandmother mother was, fairly light skinned, long, pretty hair, and that's how my grandmother looked. She was light skinned, long, long black, pretty hair. My grandfather was pretty much dark skinned, and I I just don't understand where people get this more stuff from. If your family grew up in the South, especially in the South, and you never heard anybody telling you, especially nobody from your family telling you anything about Moors. Like I didn't hear that until I moved from Mississippi. The word Moor, I never heard it there. And I also did genealogy on my family, at least on my mom's side, which dates all the way back to the 1800s as far as I went, the early 1800s. And on one of the censuses, my second great grandfather, it listed him as a Chata. Uh, he was from the Chata tribe. And what I'm trying to say is that I don't want to be long-winded. Is that if these Moors and these Hebrews, these Muslims, like if you didn't find that through your genealogy, if you didn't find if your family didn't tell you was a Moor, a Hebrew, or a Muslim or anything like that, how can you believe another person, another man, to tell you who you are other than your family? Like what's going on with that?
A couple of things, if you really think about it. A lot of these cats who run into that, they're immigrants. A lot of them are. So they don't have a history here. So like when you say your grandmother had their mother and father up on the wall, man, you talking well into the 1800s. And I'm
Yeah,
sure they had pictures of their mothers and fathers too. We don't look at it like that. You the African American, the black person, they were trained like you would train dogs. They don't think for themselves. They look to that TV to tell them, that idiot box called the radio to tell them, and somebody else to tell them what their life is about. Then when we bring it up, they get mad at you. And you're just doing nothing but tell them the truth. The stories they tell you is like Lisa was saying before. If you just rethought the story to yourself, I'm talking every single one that you've been told, you would, God, how can I be so dumb to believe that? I mean, I know people right now that's pissed at themselves for being so stupid. They can just tell us anything. And so that's why, what Lisa's saying is important, man. A guy coming over here, all they got to do is read her story in a paper or something and try to fit themselves in, which is what they do. When they do that, you know what we do? Let them, they can do whatever they want. It's for everybody. I've heard civil rights Negroes say that. Just give everything that their parents worked for and what their parents prayed for them to do and be, when they just throw all that shit away and do what somebody else says. That's the African American. And I don't see how nobody doesn't see that. That's how they get down.
right,
Anybody.
right.
Anybody. I'm sorry, dude. Go ahead.
I just don't. No, you did, but what I was gonna say is that I just don't see how people, and I know a lot of these words are terms and stuff like that to identify us, but I'm going by what my ancestors told me who we were or who my family was, not by another man that claim a religion. And I know now that Moors, the Moors, the Hebrews, the Muslims, and all of those organizations practice religion. My grandmother, both of my grandmothers on my mama's side and my father's side, they didn't go to church. They made us went to church, but they didn't go to church. But they made sure we went to church. But they really didn't. They really wasn't into that religion stuff. I'm just be honest with you.
So
From
why did
what
they make you go?
I think, to be fair, I think they made us went to keep us in line. And I think,
No, that's not it.
why do you think that?
To see how long it would take for you to find out that that shit was dumb.
Well, that's you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Why else? If they don't believe in that shit, why would they have you? Why would they send their babies to get into it?
You're right.
To see if you think for yourself, man. That's what grandmothers do, man. Grandmothers, especially in those days, sisters was they had it tough and they had to go head up. And in order to let your kids see something, you have to let them experience themselves, because the culture is training and teaching them. We're being trained. And grandmother just, you got to learn it yourself. Because once you learn it yourself, she ain't got to say shit.
You know what, Indigenous one, you're exactly right. And I'm not just going along to agree with you, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
But but you exactly right, because when I got around to the age of 14, 15, it was one day Sunday came around and we had to go to church every Sunday. Every Sunday. One day Sunday came around and I just decided that I was gonna lay in the bed. And my brothers and sisters, they ended up going to church. I was the youngest. I'm the youngest out of nine children. I was the youngest, and I just decided to stay in the bed that Sunday morning. And guess what? Nobody said nothing to me. Nobody said nothing. My brothers and sisters came home. They didn't say nothing, and then a couple of weeks went by, and then the pastor from the church ended up calling the house, and he was asking me why I wasn't attending church, and I just told him I just didn't feel like going. I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I know he said that you're not welcome in my house anymore. And I said, okay. I was a kid. I was like 15, 14, 15 years old. I didn't really understand what he was saying, because that's a church that our family always went to. You know what I'm saying? But he told me that, and from that day forward, I didn't attend church no more. From 15, and I'm 48 years old now. I never been back to church since, because I know that stuff indoctrinates you. I didn't understand nothing that they were talking about. None of that stuff made sense to me. It didn't even feel right. From listening to the pastor preach and just mumbling all day and all of that. Like, none of that stuff made sense to me. I knew it was something bigger than what he was talking about. And it was only until I came up and became an adult and moved away from Mississippi and moved to Georgia and started reading books and started being around different people. I've been around Muslim, Moors, Hebrews, all of that stuff, all of it. And I just learned. And once I came around and started, YouTube came along, and I found you. I found a bunch of other people who was talking about the indigenous, Aboriginal American people, and I remember what my grandmother told me. she said you was an Indian. Yeah, her mother was a full-blooded Indian. So if she was a full-blooded Indian, that makes me an American Indian.
Well, cool. You see what grandmamas do? Grandmamas always look out for the kids, man.
That's correct.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Well, we're gonna let Lisa get back to her story, man. And I really appreciate you calling and sharing that with us.
No problem. Thank you, brother.
All right, brother. Have a good night. So, Miss Cypress. Miss Cypress, you're on mute.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm back. I kind of lost my whole train of thought there. Okay.
No, you were talking about the guy coming from Africa to Eastern Shore to North Carolina.
Well, the point of it is this. And my sister and I got into it a little bit, not much, but really just because she was saying that people don't understand. They don't know that they're not African. They don't understand. Give them a chance to learn about it. I said, this is the thing. I know for sure that these educated people that I've encountered and trying to, repatriate the Accomacs on the Eastern Shore, these educated invaders over there and these educated, Indians over there, they know what they're doing. They don't care. They know that the people are the indigenous people of the area, that they are Accomack Indians. They don't care. And they are people that are actively trying to prevent my people, my family, from knowing who they are. They have been placed there intentionally to make sure that my people, my family, don't know who they are. This is happening. And I've had it happen. I've had people bring in, if you Moors to my first meeting, I've had them, change the subject to Africa when I'm having a meeting about Indians for Indians. These people are there intentionally. This person doing this genealogy seminar is intentional. Him saying that the Jacobs family of the Eastern Shore are from Angola is intentional. That is on purpose. It's to daggone create this whole daggone, keep this lie going that the people come from Africa to make the people of the Eastern Shore keep on believing that they're Africans that were imported there. It's to keep them away from the truth that they are actually the landlords, the landholders of the area, while they sit in abject poverty. He probably doesn't even know the level, though. He probably doesn't even venture around to even notice the abject poverty that's right there in the county. But I can't just let people call my people by anything they want to call them, because it destroys them. If you call me an African from Angola, you're taking away my inheritance. You're taking away my identity. You're taking away my land.
And see, that's what I don't, that's what they know. I'm saying all these Negroes now, because it's too many young folks putting this information out, and they making it clearer than I am. So just imagine if we was taught this when we started, if we didn't integrate into schools, if we started teaching ourselves, where will we be today? We will trick ourselves not to answer that question and run off to something else, because most of them cats that y'all be talking about be straight up lying. And
I
you're
don't
getting
think
into a situation, let me say this, Lisa, and you're getting into a situation now where you have invited damn near the whole world. Half these people you were in wars in their countries. You don't think they forgot about it? See, this is the stuff we do and then play like we don't know shit. You better pay attention. Pay attention to what's happening around the world, because it's you that everybody's getting their cue from. You just pretend like you not even nothing on this planet, and you were born up out of it. So I know everybody say, why you got me so mean? I'm not being mean. Nobody else would allow you to do it in their home. Why you let them do it in yours? Lisa Keith Cobb says, I bet you can't find any Jacobs in Angola.
Absolutely not.
Right, that's what I'm saying, man.
So so now the next so I get a phone call from a cousin that I don't normally hear from. And he's somebody who is an artist who's getting a lot of work doing African stuff, right? Probably more than he's ever experienced in his entire life. As are a lot of my cousins who are artists they are getting a lot of African work. If you do anything African, you're going to get the silver and gold, right? So, I guess he was calling to just check the temperature, see what I'm doing. And I guess he obviously heard about my upset about the presentation that's being done about genealogy of the Jacobs coming from Africa. And he did on, kind of low key mention that, oh, I grew up with Jacobs, and oh, you should probably get to know this person. She's a Jacobs. She works for some African American museum in Maryland, or I don't know, DC. I don't know what it is. And I was like, I definitely don't want to know her. I said, that's problematic. And he was like, oh, no, yeah, I think you would, that, you would, whatever, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But then I looked up, she said, oh yeah, she wrote a book. And I was like, so after I got off the phone, I looked it up, because I'm like, let me see, right? Let me see what what is he talking about? Like, what is he talking about? Because everybody's getting compensated, by these white supremacists. These black supremacists are getting compensated by them. And so, they're trying to, get you to go ahead and comply, comply, ooh, don't raise a fuss, ooh, master don't like that. Ooh, why don't you quiet down? Be nice, ooh, you get a lot more bees with sugar, whatever. You get a lot more flies with honey, and all that kind of nonsensical talking, and thinking. That's the thing. And so they're trying to get me to back off of this. So I look at the book and this is the book. And I'm like, Africana woman. Really? With the foreword by Dorothy Height. What? Oh my God. Super boule. So I'm like, I think when you are enveloped in this whole African American world, that you can't help but have heard about the whole indigenous people and the American Indians and the people who are rejecting this whole out of Africa thing. I don't think you can be in that whole realm, especially professionally, and not be aware of it. And then again, you know that your people have been on the Eastern Shore. You know how interconnected we are. You know that we have histories going back into the 1600s, 1500s, and so on. So why in the world you're promoting Africana woman? Really?
Especially Dorothy Height.
Come on now. Come on now. And so I'm like, okay. I'm just like, so, I mean, what is that supposed to do? See, I think the intent of letting me know that was supposed to make me back off like, ooh, she's a doctor. She's a doctor. And she wrote, and she got a book with Dr. Dorothy Height. And she knows about Africa. Is that supposed to impress me? Maybe that was supposed to intimidate or impress me. It infuriated me. It angered me because the thought that these people, that you're supposed to be highly educated and you're trying to push this daggone libelous, slanderous agenda is problematic. It's problematic. So I fired back at my cousin via email and text, and I was like, I don't want to know anybody like this that's doing this kind of stuff. I said, she is misleading and promoting misinformation to our people. She is pushing us off of this continent and making us into immigrants. She's disinheriting us from our land and our rights and our riches.
But Lisa, wouldn't you say in another view, all these other groups are doing the same thing? The Hebrews, all them, aren't they all doing the same thing? The Hoteps?
All these different factions and societies, but even amongst the indigenous people that are like doing all this weird group. I'm a social group Indian, and just dumb stuff that makes us look non-real. It makes us look illegitimate because you're doing weird stuff. You're not actually organizing with your real families and your real homeland. That kind of stuff is problematic too. All this stuff is problematic. Calling yourself a daggone Aboriginal and saying that that's connected with the Moors and more, that is problematic. Amorica and making up all kinds of ridiculous stuff like that. That's problematic. All these things are problematic, and they all are trying to divide us, and they're all trying to keep the indigenous people from finally having their rights, their identity back, their land back, their wealth back. That's all keeping us away from that.
So you see how hard they're trying to make it hard for you and how easy you make it for them? That's what it looked like to me.
Oh, they said to me, a story's a story. Freedom of speech. I said, no. I said, you are destroying a people. It's not the same as having an opinion. Yeah, everybody's got an opinion, but there's right and there's wrong. And when you are doing damage to a nation, you're having problem against a nation. What we're talking about is not me as an individual. What we're talking about is the Accomack as a nation and what this daggone rhetoric does to us. It's bigger than that. So I'm going to have to file suit. If you're going to go forth with this rhetoric that is a lie, then I'm going to have to file a claim against you as the library and the presenter and the other library. Because that's because I've told you, I've asked you kindly, please remove it, cancel it, or change it. I said, you can even change it. Just remove that Angola nonsense. That's the minimal acceptable thing. Just get rid of the Angola lie. That would help. That would be acceptable. But I have informed you in advance. It's a problem. It's a problem. And in the future, people should have the respect to talk to the Acamax if you're going to talk about colored, black, African, mulatto, whatever, Negro. If you're talking about any of those people, African Americans on the Eastern Shore, you need to check in. Because if they're indigenous to the area, they're us. That's the bottom line. And you have to defend and self-protect your people. And I can't have people disparaging someone who has rights and privilege. I said the rights and privileges of my Acamac kin that's in Canada is not like mine. I don't really have benefits like he has. He's got major benefits because in Canada, they respect the Indian. So he has major benefits from the fact that he is an Acamac Indian. And it's being disparaged and damaged and put in jeopardy. That's a problem. When your lies cause damage. When your story is damaging. That's a problem. That's a whole different thing. Everybody has an opinion until the damage is done. Yeah, there's freedom of speech until you've caused damage and harm. So go ahead and express it, and I'll wait. And I'll file. Because the line has to be drawn. We have to start putting up walls and defining what they can and cannot do to you. We have to start drawing the line. No, you won't do this to me again. You're not going to hit me like that again. He said to me, so you're saying that I'm caught, you're going to be is genocide? You're dead? You're literally going to die? This grown ass man who's the director of a library said that to me. I said, what are you, 8? Why? How are you talking like that? You don't sound very intelligent. Why? Please don't go to court and speak like that. Like that's embarrassing. I'm not literally saying, I told you that it's erasure. It erases our identity. Therefore, it destroys us. Therefore, it is genocide. We were killed off out of existence by virtue of a change of identity. And this person is doing it all over again by putting out a presentation that sends us clear to Africa. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You think it's cute. You're trying to be facetious. It's not cute. Either you think I'm stupid, but it's making you look really look not very smart at all. So I had this conversation. I told him what the thing is. I said, look, I said cease and desist. That's all I can do. I can tell you, I gave you a whole letter. I outlined what the problem is. I told you how we're the Indians. I told you how we're defined as having brown skin and big lips and the nose and everything. I gave you daggone the references. I gave you the information about the governor of Virginia stating there were no Negro ships in this country. Okay? There have been no Negro ships. If we get any ships, they be from Barbados. Incidentally, what I didn't tell them was Barbados is where they sent our Indian prisoners of war. So it's just Indians coming back. It's Indians being recycled.
So you're not supposed to know that, huh?
I'm not supposed to know. We are not supposed to know anything. We're not supposed to know anything. And unfortunately, we've got these coonish black supremacists who pander to these people for pennies, okay? And they don't respect them. You think he respects this daggone, this dude doing this coonish presentation? He don't respect him. And he even told me that the guy has in the past done presentations where he's talked about what has he talked about? He talked about people of color, free people of color. Now all of a sudden he got to jump in and add some African stuff. Didn't have that before, but now he feels the need to add Africa. Wonder if it's because I'm suing the county. Wonder if it's because I've organized the Accomack Indians and I'm suing the county based upon our indigenous daggone court-ordered records and land grants. Wonder if that might be it. Ridiculous. So now all of a sudden it's important. I don't want to do that. Now it's important for us to daggone talk about the what happened to that thing? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Now it's important that he talks about Angola, which I don't even understand why Virginia has this fixation with Angola anyway. It's just absurd. But now it's all about Angola, and they want to make sure that they put that out there with the Moorish pictures and everything. Thank you very much. Let's see what the other picture. Angola to the Eastern. That's what they have to do. They have to make sure they do this. So, I mean, right. So, I mean, anyway, so basically, I mean, we have all these supremacists surrounding us. We have our own people that are actually lying. They're not even telling the truth about their own genealogy. And if you learn about it, if you, okay, this is the thing. If you know people are organizing, organizing the Accomacs in the peninsula that the Accomacs exist on, which is where your people are from, and your people go back to the 1600s, why are you adding in information about Angola? Where is this proof? Why would you even make the daggone suggestion that your people come from Angola when clearly all the information points to them being the indigenous people of that daggone place? Do you think that he's just slow? Do you think he's not smart enough to figure this out? Do you think he doesn't know?
Can I? You know what? This is how ridiculous it gets. And the audience, just listen to me on this. Check this out. If you look where Angola is on the map, Angola is down there by South Africa. You have Namibia, then you have South Africa. Explain how is a ship coming up to the equator, crossing hurricanes and all this stuff to get to Virginia. Explain how that happens. Explain what would be the best route to take from there. Explain today what cargo ships are coming from Angola to Virginia. This is what I'm saying. They can tell us any damn thing. We just believe it. Check out how far Angola is. Angola's down there by South America, across the Atlantic. Really? Really? This is the stuff we believe. This is the stuff we teach our children. This is the stuff we say to dishonor our ancestors. You slapping your grandmom in the mouth, aren't you?
Lord, look how daggone far Angola is.
You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. I don't mean to be an asshole to nobody, but god damn, y'all.
Dang, this is so ridiculous looking. Y'all, for real? For real. Let me get this. Let me blow this up. How do I blow this up? View image. Oh, I do view images.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. This is all. Remember all them cats, Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, all those cats who had jobs in these universities. That's what they was doing. Now I know the many of y'all, they the ancestor, they're godlike or whatever, but this what these shines were doing. Now, how is it going to be for your children? Because you saying this where your folks come from. Keith Cobb say,
oh, I gotta get
11,519 kilometers of rough high seas. Check out where Angola is. Check out where Angola is. Angola is more south than Brazil. They can tell us anything. And then we try to be all like we all smart and we no, we look like fools, especially in the face of your kids, because that's what these immigrants are coming over here to replace your ass.
What kind of crazy business person would find it cost effective to go all the way to Angola when you got poor white folks all over Europe starving in the streets, stealing, don't have enough jails to put them in? Why would you go to Angola to get anything? Anything, and bring it to Virginia or anywhere else? That looks frigging insane. It looks insane.
So you know what I'm looking at Lisa. You know what I'm looking at now, right?
What?
Virginia.
You looking
how,
at Virginia?
How are you gonna get a ship to go up through the equator on up to Virginia?
Right.
And like Keith Cobb say, not a stopping point.
All the way. Look at that.
Where did they stop? Where did they get all their food from?
They ain't gonna that ain't gonna work. They ain't gonna make it.
They ain't gonna make it.
And they're shitting, pissing, vomiting, bleeding all over each other.
Right.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, the ship came from Angola. Yeah, oh well, that was, and they could still walk. They're still alive. No, they're still alive, and they're from Angola. Yeah, okay, they can still walk.
So this is the kind of stuff we teach. This is what they taught your mamas and daddy that went to college.
No, that's what he's trying to teach this weekend to the people of the Eastern Shore of North Carolina. Because he want to make sure them Lumbees or whoever they are in North Carolina, and a lot of people are figuring out that are Lumbees and stuff, that they are Accomax, that they actually did originate in Virginia. But he want to make sure that that all those people, because you know what the problem is? There's activated people in North Carolina who know they're Indian, but they're having problems because the Lumbee ain't getting shit done, and then they ain't got no real, like, they're trying to fit, and then people ain't letting them in and all this stuff. And these people are activated. They're looking to do, they know that they're Indian, but what they don't have connected is that they're actually Accomack Indians. So he's trying to make sure that all these Indians, my Eastern Shore people, and the people up there going North Carolina who are actually also Accomax that are Jacobs and other families that migrated, that are Accomax that migrated. That's a pattern of migration for us. A lot of us were there. My family, there are people in my family that went to North Carolina. But the thing about it, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop people for knowing who they are, for getting the daggone identity, to getting into their proper identity and getting their land back and their wealth back and their heritage back and their culture back. He's trying to stop that from his own family. Because you know why? Because his gold and silver is good. And he don't care about nobody but what he's getting. And if it stops, if it begins and ends with him, he don't care. These people don't care. Judas. Get the money and run. Take the money and run. And all the while I'm portrayed as the bad Negro and they're the good one. She's a problematic. Yeah, okay. I'll be problematic. And I'm gonna remain a big problem for you all the time. Non-stop. Until you learn to respect and treat us right. And tell the damn truth. Until you learn to tell the truth, treat us right. Respect who we are. We're going to have to be a problem. But that could easily change. As soon as these other entities change, then everything can change. But until these other entities change, I have to be an irritation. That's what you have to be. You have to be an irritation. You cannot get change without it. You cannot get any, you have to take action. If you want dramatic change, you have to take dramatic action. You have to. If you want any change, you have to take action. But if you want it to be dramatic, if you want it to be big, then you have to take big action. 6,626 miles. Yeah, that's sure worth it to get 20 odd Negroes. Yeah, oh wow. Yeah, that sounds like a worthwhile trip for 20 odd Negroes. See, this is the thing that I say, is that no amount of a lie can actually compensate for the truth. You cannot beat out the truth with a lie, because look at it. It falls to pieces. 6,600 miles. Look at the terrain. Look at the type of ocean they're going to be crossing. Look at how deep in because it's not on the waterfront. Angola's deep in there. It's showing it like it's on the waterfront, but really Angola is deep in there. So it's more in the center.
It's 6,626 miles sailing on a ship driven by wind, where hurricanes go through the alley you going through half of the year. And you got college students believe this. My baby went to Woodcrest Elementary School. For real, cuz? This how we do it? This what we give our babies to guide their lives? And like Aboriginals Mount Up said, on a wooden boat.
On a wooden boat.
You know what happens to wood when you pee on it? When you get shit all in the wood? Period, blood, all that. You
Vomit.
Know what happens? Vomit. Oh my God.
Vomit is corrosive. Really corrosive. Shoot, that's acid, man. That's pure acid.
Pure acid. And this is what we teach our children.
Right. And the Atlantic is ferocious. It definitely is. It is ferocious. And this is what we're teaching our children. Like, This is the accepted information in a North. Okay, and it's the accepted information that needs to change, and it doesn't change without
Who
somebody taking action.
Nah, who accepting it? I'm not accepting it. The average person that does accept it, they don't even know what they're talking about.
They don't have a choice.
They will believe it snows in California during Christmas, in Los Angeles during Christmas, and they will put cotton on their roof and on their grass to pretend that it's snow. That's what you're talking about. Who accepts this? Who accepts this story? Come on, somebody in the chat gotta believe it. Come on. Who accepts it?
Well, obviously the presenter accepts the story because that's how he entitled his thing, that we came from Angola. He accepts it.
No, it's called stealing. That's what it looks like to me.
That's what it looks like.
I mean, what else can it be? I mean, you just said when you put these numbers up here, over 6,000 miles on a wooden ship, going south to north through an alley where hurricanes frequently go through and end up in Virginia. What? The flight time, 14 hours. Come on, man. How much time in a wooden ship? This is what we believe.
100-foot waves and everything. Come on now.
100-foot waves.
Yeah, that's what we believe. That's what we're teaching the public to this day. And it's everybody has the right to freedom of speech. No. When we know better, we must do better.
So you see when you have all these Negroes talking this nonsense, and I'm talking all of them. You see how other people, if you go on other platforms and you see how people talk about the African American, you see why. This is the kind of shit we tell other nations this about us. And they'll call Lisa and myself crazy. Other people will believe them because it makes it doesn't make it as hard for them to explain their story, because you already got a shine vouching for them. Ain't that how you do it?
Right.
That's how you do it.
But you can't let these people that are trying to. But see, the thing about it is, that's why it's so important for you to organize with your family and your homeland in the right way. And that way, when you go forward, you can speak. I can speak for my kin that's all the way in Canada. You can't do that when you're organized with these social groups and I can't do anything to protect people if I haven't repatriated the Acamax. I can speak and protect my kinfolk that's all the way in Canada because we've organized ourselves in that right way, with our right bloodline, with our real genealogy that stands up to everything. And when I tell him that people are disparaging his genealogy and his family name, he is upset about it. And he thanks me for defending his family name and his identity. That's what we have to do, and we can do. But if you can't do this, it's not going to work. It doesn't work when you aren't in your proper status and don't have yourself organized right. You have to be organized correctly. You have to have your proper status. And then you can come forward and you can speak and you can fight. So but it's not like it's a lot of work. It wears me out dealing with these people. It's not a joyous thing to have to fight these people. I would like to just, be in la la land and not have to think about this stuff. I spent for the first part of my life being in la la land and not have to think of this stuff. But I guess now I can't afford to. When you know better, you have to do better. And when you know better, you have to do more. What's that? Go ahead.
That's every single last one of us.
Right. Right.
Angola to Virginia. Too bad you won't be there because I know you'd go ham.
Yeah. I will be on the if they broadcast it, I will be on that. And I do have like several people that are showing up. So
cool.
And I have several people that are very good in their genealogy as well. Oh, they are very talented.
Hey, why don't you ask one of them to send them this map and ask them to explain how Angolans got to Virginia. Just explain that trip and just watch that shit fall apart right there.
Right. Because that map alone is like riveting. Like, okay, make that make sense. Make it make sense that you guys came all the way from Virginia like sardines. I mean, all the way from Angola to Virginia like sardines. And the fact that you would bother to bring 20 people that distance. 20 people. I'm like, yeah, I'm going all the way to Angola to pick up 20 people. You can't even charter a bus. Okay? A bus is not, you can't get there. There are a few things that you could actually get to carry you back. With 20 people, you got to have way more than 20 people to get stuff done. If I'm a charter bus, I got to have more than 20 people. If I'm going to have to book certain things, I'm going to have, if I want to book a room, I got to have more than 20 people. But yet they would go let me tell you, Europe was broke. This is the thing, 1619, they were just eating corpses. In 1614, it was the starving time. They were eating corpses. So you're going to tell me 1619, they got money to go send boats across the damn ocean and bring 20 people in? Make that make sense. You couldn't even feed your ass. Make it make sense. You were just starving. You had to so-called kidnap Pocahontas to get a daggone cob of corn. That's the reality of the time frame. From 1609 to 1614, which it really is longer than that. They're trying to say 1614, they were starving longer than that. They've changed. Like if you look, if you look now online, you understand that everything's trying to work within the 1619 project framework. Most of the information is saying the starving time was only till 1610. But if you keep scrolling way back, you can find a 1614. But the reality is it is that it's 1614 because that's when they daggone kidnapped, or so-called kidnapped Pocahontas, made her marry this guy, and they took her across the daggone ocean, or so-called they did, whatever they did, kidnapped her butt and murdered her. But anyway, the 1619 occurred right after starvation. The reason they got that boat because they were stealing. They was desperate. Okay, they were intercepted. They intercepted the daggone Portuguese, took their daggone ship, and thought they had some good stuff on there, and there was only 20 odd Negroes. They have plenty of Negroes. They don't need no Negroes, and the Negroes are free. The Negroes were free. Their Negroes were free. What could they do with the Negroes? The Negras, the Christianized Catholic women who had jobs to go to in the West Indies. They couldn't do nothing with them. They sent them on their way. Let them stay there for a while, sent them where they were destined to go. But yet, the 1619 Project is a project that's supposed to daggone, once again, steal your land. It's to steal your land. It's to put you in Africa. It's to make you forever an immigrant. You were supposed to accept that 1619 like it's a fact. You were supposed to accept that 1619, and you were supposed to say, oh yeah, that's when we came. Oh yeah, there it is. There's the proof. That's what I was wondering about that. Why haven't they taught that to us all this time? Because that's supposed to send you out of here. That defines you as being an immigrant. 1619 makes you immigrant. And like my cousin said today, when I explained some of it to him, he said, oh, that means that we came after them and they brought us. And that's, okay, yeah, that makes us the immigrant cargo. It defines us as that. It defines you as a foreigner. And then, let's not forget what the other thing they try to do. Oh, we're all mixed up. Oh, yeah, you're all mixed up. You're not just Indian. You're Indian and black and blah. What is a black? Why do these Negroes still say black? Like a black is a thing, like it's another. If I said that there are no Africans, then what's a black?
It doesn't exist.
What is it? Well, okay. Oh, wait a minute. There is a black. I will say this. Black Europeans, but they don't know that. They're not talking like that. You mean a black European? That's what you're referring to? No, they're not referring to that.
My grandfather, if you said somebody was black, he'd slap the shit out of you.
Yep. Those are fighting words.
Those are derogatory terms. People can't be black. Only things could be black. Those people back 100 years ago knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call me a thing because you're trying to dehumanize me.
That's right.
The same thing this cat's trying to do with the Acamax.
Right.
Now, the average Negro, I'm talking about the average one, they'll believe this story and they will defend it with their lives.
Right.
Don't they do that?
Right. That's what people told me. Well, people are just going to believe. Some people are just going to believe that they're, African, you're not going to change some people. That's not the point. I understand. There are a lot of people who are never going to change their mindset that they're from Africa. That's fine. But what you're not going to do is tell me what the indigenous people of that land are. You're not going to change them into Africans ever again. So if you're talking about the people of the Eastern Shore, you got to define them as who they are, which is Acamac. But they're never going to change their mind. Yeah, that's true. They will die believing that they came from Africa and bring up DNA that people say, oh, haplog this, dumb bitch. Are you kidding me? They make up what the haplogs mean. They define it. The haplogs can be whatever they want it to be. Hey Jim, what you gonna make the haplog H be? Oh, let's make that. Let's make that from Ghana, and we'll make the. They know what the American Indian DNA is, and they know it's not African. They assign it African identities. Why? Because they want the land, man. Everything's about land theft. They want to keep the land, keep the wealth, never have to pay you nothing. You got to stay under the daggone mysticism that you're a foreigner. And DNA, people believe in that, and they still daggone suffer from the diabetes and the hypertension. Heifer, don't you think if they could fix something, they should fix your hypertension and diabetes instead of daggone worrying about daggone your DNA? Don't you think they should daggone fix some cancer, some things that are useful? You got the gout and you can't take care, you can't daggone, they can't cure that. But you're gonna go around and worry about the DNA and how real it is. That's real science. They don't work, they know. How they figuring out all this stuff, but they can't figure out how to fix not a damn thing. But you trust that they know how to do that. How does that work?
What do you think they're doing to the DNA, to the people who sending them their DNA? What do you think they're doing with that?
That's how they're fixing these That's how they're fixing this Kool-Aid up. That's how they're making the right mix of the Kool-Aid. Just like when I worked in New Jersey during the pandemic at a certain university hospital, and they were testing the daggone employees, trying to figure out how to get that Kool-Aid just right. And all those Haitians, and who do we have working there? We had some daggone Jamaicans. We had one indigenous girl. We had, the East Indian, the Pakis. We had the regular, run-of-the-mill Caucasians. They ran to get tested. Are you getting tested, Lisa? Hell no. Young girl gets herself tested. She's the only one that had the antibodies. The young indigenous sister. Not even the people from the islands had the antibodies. Ooh, you're lucky. You got the antibody. Ooh, you got good blood. Yeah, they used her blood all right. They used that to fix up this next batch. That's why people I don't mean to laugh, y'all. That's terrible. I'm not gonna laugh. But yeah, that's why people are killing over now, because they keep working on perfecting that with your DNA and your antibodies and they have people going to these daggone special places for giving up their plasma, right? For a small check. And they take your child, they take your placenta, they take all that, and they don't pay for none of that. And then when you die and you donate your body, they take it and they don't give you a dime. They don't even help you pay for a funeral. These companies make like millions of dollars off the parts when you donate your body. And they won't even help you get a dime for a funeral. Yeah, it's corrupt.
And they spread that information to all their people all over the world who can't believe it, and they make up laws for them to walk into your country and you don't have anything to say about it.
Yeah, they walk into your country and walk over you like you're a rug. And if you're running around saying you're from Africa, then you need to be a rug, because that's crazy. Because the Africans don't respect you. They don't like you. They don't respect you. And they don't think that you are them at all. They know that you're not them. And then there's a small group of them being paid now to say that, oh yeah, welcome back. Yeah, you're African. Yeah, they're getting millions of dollars to say that you're African. They're getting millions of dollars to say, welcome back to Ghana. You could be a citizen. If you just Google, it'll show you all the daggone money, grants, millions and millions and millions and multi-millions of dollars they send every damn year. And you wonder, oh, they just really nice to me. Oh, they welcome us back. Or they welcome you to what? Welcome you to be a foreigner when you leave your homeland. Welcoming you to walk away from your inheritance. That's what you're being welcomed to do. Walk away from your inheritance and go to a foreign land. They have tried this several times in history, beginning of the 1800s up in New England with Cuffy, going to Senegal, or Sierra Leone rather, and then you got your turn of the century, Liberia, and now you got welcome back to Ghana, the great return, right? They promoted the great return. Let me tell you, that all coincided, if you look at it, 1619 and the great return, the 1619 project and the great return all coincided. All coincided. That was planned. They wanted to tell you, look, you're from Africa. Now go back. Look, you're from Africa. Welcome back. Meanwhile, the Africans are running in, taking your place here. And they will let them. Why? Because they don't have no claims. They got no rights to the land, no rights to any kind of not reparations, but restitution. They have no right to any restitution. They have nothing. They're just immigrants. Ooh, non-threatening immigrants. And you know how quickly they kick out an African from a land. They don't have any problem with sending them back where they came from. Quickly. So it's a win-win. Get you to go over there, get them to come over here. Except this whole world is not in balance without us being in our rightful place. See? The planet would cease to exist without all of us being in our rightful place, because we are part of the land. We are part of the trees. We are the sand. We are the leaves. We are the plants. We are America. We are the soil. We are Turtle Island. This is us. So if they tried and succeeded to do it, it would be the end of the planet as we know it. But they're always trying to tamper with nature, see? They always think that they're smarter. They always are thinking that they can do better than nature, than the creator. But they can't. We're all being manipulated. But there's a time and a place to say no more. And the point of all this is to tell everyone, this is the time. We have to start actually saying no more out loud in people's faces, face to face, over the phone, and social media, every which way we can. We have to say no more. I mean, it's one thing to talk to your people, to talk to people, to speak to the choir, as in this here. This is speaking to the choir. I'm speaking to the choir when I talk to you. But it's another thing to go out and speak to the people who are in opposition to the choir. It's a whole nother animal to go out there and speak to the people who are causing you harm and causing you problems and saying, look, no more. Look, stop the lies. And this has to roll on. I'm gonna have to continue. This means you got to go in front of like the house, when the house meets, and they're going Virginia. I have to start there. This has to keep rolling. It is an ever evolving battle to change our place on the planet. And it all begins with just one foot in front of the other and just doing it.
And it got to get done now.
Absolutely.
Right now. Well, Lisa.
Yes.
I mean, I know I appreciate it. I mean, every time you bring something, you're letting us know what's going on with the Accomax in Virginia. And that gives us some insight into what we have to fight when we're repatriating back to our homeland. So I appreciate you 100%.
Thank you. I appreciate you letting me be on here and vent about what's going on and my frustrations. Hey y'all, I don't know if they're gonna change the program that they have planned for Saturday. It would be nice if they did, but if they don't, like I said, I'll be happy to file suit because that's another forum, and that makes the information bigger, and that actually makes the statement larger. And then to be able to do it across 3 different cases is even the better. So I mean, if they don't do right, then it just is gonna add to the power behind what I have to do moving forward. So it's a win-win either way, and I appreciate you allowing me to speak on it. You are the wonderful, most the best, and you are the only critical thinker that's on this whole world wide web. And we appreciate you so much for giving us this place where we know that the person at the helm of the plane is on his P's and Q's, and he is going to be on time every time. So we appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you guys for recognizing what I'm trying to say is there's not no bullshit, y'all. And we just can't keep on just skipping through here like everything is cool, because it ain't. So connect with your families, ask questions, get it out your grandmamas and granddaddies. They know something. A lot of times we play stupid. We not stupid, but we sure do like to play that game. And while you're at it, get on over to AAA.com, African Americans Ain't African.com, and pick up our book, because it shows you the person who's reading it. You get halfway through the book, you like, damn, we make it that plain. People gonna tell you all kind of stuff. And like Lisa said earlier, they'll be lying to you. You got to know what to say to them. You got to know what questions to ask. Like this picture you seeing right here from Angola to Virginia. So wouldn't you ask yourself, if you traveling in that time of weather, in that type of weather, you're going to need water. Where did they pack all the water at on those ships? What did they pack the water in? You see, they just tell us stuff. Nothing's explained. All them niggas, they won't ask no questions. And we don't. So check us out, supporters. We're trying to get the word out. African Americans ain't Africans. If you one of those persons that think they are, join the conversation. Convince us that they are. You will leave here apologizing. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, everyone.